India and Bangladesh will hold biannual talks. A 24-member delegation of the Border Guard Bangladesh, led by Director General Major General Abdul Hussain, will discuss with its counterparts the Border Security Force team led by its chief KK Sharma. The recent incidents of movements of Rohingya Muslims across the border is an issue. The talks are also expected to go till October 5th. The DG-level talks between the two sides will be held at a BSF camp here. And VK Sasikala has requested parole for 15 days to attend her husband, M. Natarajan, who is critically ill, and Sasikala's husband has suffered multiple organ failure and is admitted at a hospital in Chennai. He is expected to undergo a liver transplant. The government expects a helping hand from the Reserve Bank of India in the form of interest rate cut in the next monetary policy to boost its growth, which fell to a 3-year low of 5.7%. Airlines in India have demanded a rollback of costlier aviation fuel prices in India. Jet fuel or the ATF prices have been hiked by a steep 6% rise on the firming international rates. But cooking gas price was hiked by 1.5 rupee per cylinder, in the line with government's decision to raise rates every month to eliminate subsidies by March. Heavy rain affected normal life in Hyderabad city on Monday, causing difficulties to people in the city. Sky remained cloudy throughout the evening as mercury dipped about to several degrees Celsius following rains in the city. The downpour triggered waterlogging in many low-lying areas and brought traffic to a halt at several places. Reports also suggest the region will continue to receive rain for another 24 to 48 hours. One of the few surviving travelling circuses in India is facing tough competition from modern forms of entertainment as it is struggling to stay relevant in the times of smartphones. The tent inside the circus, which is holding 3 shows every day in Delhi, is only partially filled, giving hard time to the owners as well as the artists who are dependent on it for their livelihood. The world of cricket, cricket crazy India, and enthusiasts has collected over 500 bats with autographs of top international players such as Brian Lara, Gary Sobers, Lala Amarnath, Vivian Richards and others. Looking into some international news making headlines, a gunman killed at least 59 people and injured more than 500 at a county music festival in Las Vegas Strip on Sunday. Police described the suspect as being a local Las Vegas man who acted alone and was not believed to be connected to any militant group. The suspect, identified as a 64-year-old gunman, shot himself right after the attack. The police in Las Vegas said that they found at least 18 additional firearms, some explosives and thousands of rounds of ammunition at the Mesquite home of the 64-year-old gunman. Clark County Sheriff described the moments leading up to the breach of the suspect's hotel room, from where he sprayed concert goers below with a barrage of bullets. Experts say the Las Vegas shooting incident is not going to take a toll on the city's main source of income, that is the travel business. All the shares of US casino operators such as the MGM Resorts International, which owns Mandalay Bay Hotel, fell in early trading on Wall Street. US President Donald Trump led a moment of silence at the White House on Monday in honor of the victims of the Las Vegas concert attack. This is the deadliest mass shooting in modern US history. US Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell also led a moment of silence on the Capitol Hill on Monday in honor of the victims of the massacre in Las Vegas. Crowds of people on Monday formed long lines outside blood donation centres in Las Vegas to donate blood to the victims of the deadliest mass shooting ever seen in United States history. One of the witnesses recalled the horror, confusion and panic when a 64-year-old gunman with multiple machine guns rained down gunfire from the 32nd floor of Las Vegas hotel. The barrage of bullets from the Mandalay Bay Hotel into a crowd of at least 22,000 people, which lasted several minutes, sparking panic among people. The lights of Paris's Eiffel Tower were turned off late Monday to pay tribute to the victims of Las Vegas and the Marseille attack that took place on Sunday. And the Empire State Building in New York also went dark on Monday night to mark the deadly mass shooting in Las Vegas. The Empire State Building issued a statement saying the display will include a rotating orange halo to shine a light on gun violence awareness. At least 7 people have been killed in clashes between security forces and protesters in Cameroon's English-speaking regions. This as violence broke out in an area where separatist movement is gathering strength. The clashes began on Sunday. At least 7 people have been reportedly killed and 20 more injured. This after 2 suicide bombers struck a police station in Damascus on Monday. This is the first such attack to hit the Syrian capital since July. Militants targeted the Al Midan police station and clashed with police officers there. There has been no immediate claim of responsibility for the attack. More than 3,000 people, mainly women and children fleeing the Islamic State held town of Havija, arrived in the village of Topaz on Monday. Families were transported by military trucks in the Peshmerga area positions at the Maktab Khalid district. The West Bank-based Palestinian Prime Minister toured Gaza City on Monday. This is part of a major move towards reconciliation between Hamas and the mainstream Fatah party. This is a decade after the Islamist group seized the territory in a civil war. Hamas had last week announced that it was handing over administrative control of the Gaza Strip to a unity government, but the movement's armed wing remains the dominant bar in the enclave of 2 million people. The Catalan government reported that 90% of the Catalan people voted in favour of leave in a banned referendum on independence from Spain on Sunday, and more than 2 million people voted yes to the question, do you want Catalonia to become an independent state in a form of a republic? That was the question. Students in Barcelona staged protest on Monday against police officers who tried to forcibly disrupt a banned referendum on independence on Sunday. Students chanted slogans in support of the referendum and against Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy while waving the Catalan flag. Catalonia's leader, Carles, demanded on Monday the withdrawal of police forces who tried to forcibly disrupt a referendum on independence on Sunday. Regional authorities said almost 900 people had been injured after clashing with police officers as they tried to enter polling stations to cast their ballots. The Catalan leader called on Prime Minister Rajoy to enter and to say whether he was in favour of mediation and talks over the region's future. Pro-Catalonia independence protesters gathered outside one of Spain's national police stations in Barcelona on Monday. This a day after hundreds of people were hurt by police during the independence referendum. And more Rohingya Muslim refugees arrived into Bangladesh from Myanmar on Monday as the two countries agreed to set up a working group to plan repatriation of more than 500,000 Rohingyas. The United Nations has called the exodus of 507,000 Rohingyas since late August the world's fastest developing refugee emergency. A Sri Lankan court remained a Buddhist monk in custody on Monday. This after charging him with leading hardline nationalists in a protest against 31 Rohingya Muslims, asylum seekers last week, forcing the refugees to flee a UN safe house. The police has so far remanded 7 people on several charges, including creating communal disharmony, attacking police and damaging property. US President Donald Trump told Prime Minister of Thailand on Monday that he wants to improve the US trade relationship with Thailand, meeting with the Thai Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha in the Oval Office. Trump said the trade would be on the agenda for their talks. The White House on Monday said that the Trump administration will not hold any talks with North Korea at this time, except for possible conversations about freeing US citizens who have been detained there.